Well, hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor. And do you know what? I think this is it. I think this is the first proper live with me and you guys in the transfer window period. My God, everybody, if you've been with the channel for around about 4 years, you know what's going on in this period. It is the rumour mill. Yes, everybody, we're back discussing Leeds United. I am hyped for this one. And yeah, we're back with a live. We've been putting out a couple of sort of short videos over the last couple of days. That will continue, of course, but we do love their lives. We've got content coming throughout the week. Mixture, lives, mixture, short videos, Patreon, bonus bits coming on. We're trying to get a little segment with Oscar on there as well. There will be more giveaways on the channel, but right now, everybody, we have a giveaway on the Patreon that if you don't get involved in, you are mental. It's free. The pool is much smaller, and all I'm asking you guys to do on the Patreon is let me know your favorite Leeds United memory. That's it. And like this video. So shout out to all of you guys getting involved in that. We've had a few new members over there as well. Well worth it as well. You get some exclusive content for about £4 a month. It's nothing. So shout out to all of you guys. We've got some really cool things which have given me a little bit of a bounce this morning, a little bit of the way Leeds Yangs, do you know what I mean? Regarding One Leeds as well. We've got something coming up this summer as well when it comes to the professionalism. You guys know I was speaking about it a while ago. I want to sort of take the channel to a journalistic standard as well. And it's not just going to be YouTube. It's going to hopefully be something else as well, which I've got my guy in the background working on. And yeah, it's been a long process, everybody. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a milestone for me. So slap the like on the video because we're trying to get things moving over here. But shout out to all of you. Also, you've probably not seen this for a while. You've probably not seen my iPad. Update, everyone. Smashed. Look at that. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at the state of it. Absolutely wounded. 400 quid down the drain. Has there been a worse spendage of money since JKA? I got that 3 months ago. So I'm now poor. So welcome to the One Leeds Poor channel. But shout out to all of you guys. Joe's in the building. Morning, Connor. Where's the Raquel May Type 10? Everybody's here as well. It's great to see. It's great to see exactly what Luke B's just said. The season starts when the rumour mill begins. Happy Monday and hallelujah. Me too, Adam, only because my kid is off sick from school. I presume that means you're in the live because of that reason, mate. Lee's in the building. Hi, Lee. When is the retained list out? It's very, very soon, mate. From what I understand, I think it's probably going to be in the next 48 hours. The next 48 hours. So I don't listen. Let's start on the retain list. I don't think there's going to be anything exponentially wow about it where we're all going to go, oh my God, they've been released. Like I don't think it's going to be anything like that. I think we're going to be looking at your Byrams, your Coopers, your Shackletons, players like that. Everybody, where probably the big talking point is going to be Liam Cooper, in my opinion. Sam Byram's another one. Because now we're in the Championship. Look, we've went to the Premier League. There'd be no conversation, would they? There'd be not Leeds United players, even when it comes to squad depth. But now we're in the Championship. Do you keep Liam? Liam Cooper was my controversial pick. But it all depends on what Leeds do in the window. Are we going to target experience? He targeted Kenny McLean at the start of the season. Didn't happen. He praised Morsey and Luongo, not just for their ability on the ball and what they were doing for Ipswich this season, but also for their experience and what they've done and what they've been involved in their careers. So you would expect with Farke making these sort of constant references, Leeds will be going out and getting someone in that experience sort of sphere. Now, why do I bring that up? Well, the reason I bring that up is because if you're getting experience, you're buying experience in with Dallas, Ayling and Cooper, three big boys potentially leaving the club. When it comes to experience, you have to bring experience in. And if you don't bring experience in, you can't complain about not having experience. If so facto, you've got to go out and get some. So obviously, you can probably tell as well that I've got a bit of a pump on me, a little bit of a pump. As I said, Leeds Yang, I enjoyed the boxing at the weekend, but also I enjoyed Leeds United knocking the ownership out of the park as well with the minority stake. And I believe this is the first time I've been on live with you guys when it's happened, just me and thee. So I want to know what you think in the comment section below when it comes to the Red Bull sponsorship. We're going to get into the rumours as well coming up, everybody. But I'm really fascinated to understand where your heads are at with this sort of stuff. We're going to be speaking with multiple people on the channel this week about this topic. But for me, my mindset hasn't really changed. I'm living in the here and now. I'm trying not to worry about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years when whatever's going to happen and Parag's going to leave and the Red Bull are going to take over Leeds and we're going to go into this spaceship ownership where it's likely they're just going to crash into the ground and burn. I just don't see it like that. I see a minority ownership. I see no pathway. I see LUFC Trust doing an interview with Leeds United and the 49ers and Parag just saying exactly sort of what we all expected, which was no, they won't be gaining any more traction. They are essentially there for expertise, a little bit of advice. They will not influence anything whatsoever. And I just thought to myself, like, what more do we need to hear as fans? It all comes down to paranoia. It all comes down to paranoia. So for me, the proof in the pudding, I should say, the evidence is right there. And you guys, if you're a bit cynical, a bit pessimistic about it, I understand it in terms of, look what they've done with Salzburg. We're not the same club as Salzburg. Come on. Leeds United, Salzburg. You can talk about Champions League, Salzburg, all you want. You can talk about players being from there, you know, all this sort of stuff. Okay, how many league titles they've won? Once again, without being arrogant, Leeds United and Salzburg. We are one of the cornerstones of English football. It's just not comparable. So I think as well, with the finger on the pulse that the 49ers have, Parag very intertwined with the fan base, with being transparent. The 49ers are, in my opinion, probably some of the most transparent owners you will get in football, holding regular Q&As. I feel like it's quite easy to reach out as well as a content creator if I was to do that. I don't feel it's that difficult. I feel like there was a complete wall with Radrizzani and Rutter. Like there was no real sort of transparency between, you know, the club and not only journalists but content creators, all this sort of stuff. But now I feel like it's there with the 49ers. They're putting a real effort into things that you guys wouldn't even expect, of which will come out in due course. And I just feel like with the 49ers right now, having that as the foundation, the basis of Leeds United, with obviously the input from Red Bull, which is natural. But I feel like the major reason the 49ers enterprises wanted to get them involved was just really because of the financial side of things. There is no pathway, and I know that for a fact. There's no pathway for them to get involved. That's been said at the start. It's been consolidated, and I just believe it. They've not shown me anything right now for me to turn around and say, 49ers are snakes. They're going to jump ship. They're rats. They don't want to be here. They've had this insinuation, this clue. And I'm thinking, nah, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And for us to compete at the top level, you have to have the Red Bull. You have to have someone like that. You have to have, we talk about the top 6, top 8. Do you almost where Leeds United are because of years and years of missing out and being nowhere near? Do you need state ownership? Do you need an absolutely huge takeover to be able to compete? I mean, that's a question. We are where we are now. It's very relative, of course it is. But when you're looking at Leeds United, if you want to, if we get back to the Premier League, and I know what fans will be saying, it'll be Europe within 2 years of us being in the Premier League and staying in the Premier League, hopefully, touch wood. How do you do that? You know, are the 49ers going to be able to do that? Now, that's a question for later on down the line. Of course it is. But the beauty about this right now is that they are a minority shareholder. There's no seat on the board. And I keep hearing fans comparing us to Salzburg. We're not Salzburg. It's completely different. You know, it really is. And when they took over from Leipzig, are we like Leipzig? Not at all. Did they have such a solid ownership group at that time when Red Bull came in like we have now? No. So the factors are so different. So different. So I don't really think you compare. I understand why fans are comparing. I get there's sort of these scaremongering tactics going on, which I'm not a massive fan of, to be honest with you. If we face problems a little bit later on down the line, we face problems a little bit later on down the line, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And for you to be in that world where it is just, oh God, paranoia, we're screwed, this is it. They're going to change the name, the badge, everything. That's it. We're dead. We're done. We're not Leeds United anymore. We're Leeds Bulls. I just don't see that happening. I see it as sensationalist. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think in the conversation below. Get them in. Okay. Red Bull is great news. Yeah, interesting. I just want to get the theme of, because I know there's a lot of people who don't agree. Get it in the comment section below if you don't. Pleased with the Red Bull sponsorship, says Jay. The exposure and commercial gains we can get from it can elevate us to the next level. Yeah, and I think that's it as well. And not only is it player attraction when it comes to, oh God, we've just signed the biggest deal in EFL history. Somehow Leeds fans are making that into a negative thing and a cynical thing. I've no idea how. Biggest commercial deal ever in EFL history. that will attract many players from, any region really, especially mainland Europe, where Red Bull is a bit of a stronghold. I just feel that it's a good thing when it comes to that commercialism, I should say. Globalization, I mentioned this several times as well. The globalization thing's massive, because if Leeds can spread to different countries and they're involved in many countries of Red Bull, and Leeds' notoriety can elevate in that level, it means more revenue, it means more cash flow, it means more attraction, it means more tourism on top of all of that. So we've got to get out of this insular mind. We've got to get out of it. And I've always sort of embraced this. Leeds fans want cash. We get cash. They're not happy. Red Bull years and years and years ago would have been like, oh my God, what an ownership. And the fact that they were interested in Sheffield Wednesday as well, but the 49ers have managed to get that over the deal, I think that's a big plus as well. Keep getting your comments in, everybody. Interested to hear what you have to say today. Chris King, he says, Connor, I think the room mill is now big enough to have its own channel. Plus, you get double subs. You earned it and you deserve it. Mr. Boost does it. Why can't the One Leeds Beast do it? Yeah, mate, it might be something I think about a little bit. It's not a bad idea, to be honest with you. Yeah, keep getting your comments in, everybody. Cole's in the building. Good morning, Connor. Paul, hello, Paul. Very delighted with Red Bull. Can't think of a bigger brand out there. Matt says, great news. We would be devastated if it wasn't us and it was a rival. They'd signed onwards and upwards. Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. Look, we're in the Yorkshire region, aren't we? We've all got probably Sheffield Wednesday fans. They're all gutted. They're all absolutely gutted. Now, Chansiri is very different to the ownership model that we have. Chansiri is an absolute lunatic, but at the same time, it's still a new owner. They wanted majority ownership when it came to Red Bull, and they saw a minority stake in Leeds United, the right way to do it, by the way. I'd have been worried on here if I was coming on and I was saying they had a seat on the board, they were the majority shareholder, and Parag was off back to live back in, sunny San Francisco. None of those three things are happening. At Sheffield Wednesday, they wanted a majority Red Bull takeover, and they didn't care. So that's how dour it could have been, but it's not that. And it seems to be just expertise, analysis, and a lot of the other things is, well, what do Red Bull want long-term? Well, the beauty about Leeds United, if you look at it logistically, is Salzburg and Leipzig, in my opinion, were never as big a club when they invested. So when you get in the sixth highest shirt sales in the country, when you go back up to the Premier League, you see in Leeds in the top 20 when it came to revenue streams last season via Forbes. In the world, in the world when it comes to commercialization, everything, blah blah blah, how much Leeds have galvanized from that. There is a massive. We've always said this on the channel. Leeds are a gold mine. You invest in Leeds, it's an absolute gold mine if they get back to the Premier League and you're successful. We all know that. We're not stupid. Neutral fans can see that. So business owners have eventually done that because we're not being tied down by strings of GFH and Chilino. It's now in a really prosperous state where the San Francisco 49ers have brought it to a professional standard and continue to do so with the stadium facilities, etc., etc. So the Red Bull now want to be part of this. So obviously they're part of this, but I don't see this sort of upward trajectory of them. I don't see this mass takeover. I think right now they look at Leeds, and I could be being naive, but I could be looking at them, and they've been looking at getting involved in English clubs for a long time now. But with Leeds, if they've been told that there's no pathway, there's still an opportunity for them to take Sheffield Wednesday over as an alternative. There still is. It could be, you can still have dual ownership in this country, I believe, if it's on a certain level percentage wise, but what can happen then is they can still invest in another club. They can invest in Leeds United, of course. But even if they weren't to invest in Sheffield Wednesday, if they're investing in Leeds United, they still get so much gain from that. So much gain, especially if there's eyes in the Premier League. Leeds will be the first English club they've invested in. They get all this notoriety when it comes to shirt sales and their sponsor on the shirt as well. We might be looking at this in this sensationalist way where it's like, oh my God, they're going to take over. We're done, blah, 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 blah. But really, it might just be that. They might be told there's no clear pathway. Look, you're 10, 15% ownership. You'll get a lot of revenue, a hell of a lot of revenue back from that. You're allowed on the shirts. You're not on the badge. We're not changing the stadium name. None of that rubbish. We're not changing the kit colours to red, white, and blue. That's not happening. So you stay in your lane. And Red Bull might be all right with that. They might be all right with that. They might have a long-term aim of taking over the club, but there's so many if buts and maybes there, everybody. They're the exact same as a minority shareholder. It's enterprises. So when it's enterprises with the 49ers, it's different strings of investment. They're just another string, but it's just a notorious stream that we're all well aware of. Harry, I don't know if you've done me here, mate. Yeah, you've done me. Cheers, mate. You nearly had me. Ollie, shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you, buddy. Morning, Connor. I'm extremely happy with the Red Bull involvement. We have to accept that football has changed. I agree with you, mate. I agree. Matt says gambling sponsorship has to be removed in a few years. So getting this sort of deal is massive. Really intelligent way of looking at it there, mate. Dave did says how far have we come in 10 years behind the scenes is massive. Exactly. Very well put, Connor. We can't have it both ways. Want investment, and then we get it. We start complaining. To survive in football takes money. We might not like it. But them's the breaks, 100%. Dan says, plus Leeds have stronger owners who can muscle back and say, no, you're part of the project, not the whole project. Exactly. I just think this, shout out to you, Freddie boy. Thanks, mate. I just think like this whole, that's what I've said, the sensationalism of, oh my, we got, and I get different opinions. There's someone put in the chat the other day, Connor, you like different, you say you like different opinions, but as soon as someone opposes you, you're not interested. That's absolute rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. For one, everybody, when we get them on the debrief and other content creators we get on the channel, we do not just align opinion-wise, and that's why I set up the debrief. So as opposing opinions, polarizing opinions. I don't have an echo chamber of Leeds fans. I don't like that. I might disagree with you passionately, but I will still get your comment up. I'll still read it, even if you disagree with me. I understand the concerns as well with Red Bull. I completely get it. I am a Leeds United fan overall. But I think right now, a lot of Leeds fans have been sensationalist. And I think it's crazy to be like that right now. Live in the here and now. We've got 60 million, rising up to 200 million investment, the biggest deal in EFL history, and we're still complaining. And a lot of people might say, Connie, you complain all the time. I complain with stuff on the pitch. Yeah, I criticize, but I try offer solutions as well. I try offer solutions as a fan, as what I would do. Doesn't mean it's right, but it's what I would do. I see myself as a bit of a realist, and realist-wise, on that standpoint, in that mantra, I think this is a good deal. I really do. And it opens up so much for Leeds, even if it's keeping hold of Archie, if it's keeping hold of, Jorginho, Rutter, etc., etc. So what I wanted to speak on when it came to this is Leeds and Rangers. Let's have a bit of a discussion. So at this, guys, there's over 1,000 of you in the building. I need likes on this video so it rises up. Do me a favor so I can buy a new frigging iPad so I can make this production better for you guys. I can read your comments off here, but no, I can't anymore because it's smashed. So rack the likes up, everybody. Really appreciate that. But news this morning after we've waffled on about Red Bull, we've waffled on at this stage about, Leeds' transfers and all this sort of stuff. Want to evolve with that. Ben Johnson has left or is leaving, I believe, West Ham United at this moment in time. And Leeds and Rangers are the front runners. Bada bing, bada boom, we're back in the room. Massive fan of that. Leeds obviously going in for Ben Johnson in the January window, and unfortunately not been able to get that one over the line because West Ham wanted to keep hold of him and keep him within the squad ranks going forward in the Premier League season. So at that time we were speaking about it. Obviously Leeds had let Jed Spence go, rumours about Connor Roberts, but Ben Johnson was the big one. He was the big one who has shown massive, almost like in the Reece Oxfords, shown massive potential at West Ham, but never really fulfilled it. Rangers, Leeds United in the market for him right now, according to several reports. Now, I like it. Once again, we always speak about attributes with right back, and we go over the same things: athleticism, physicality, good going forward, good going back. But these are all sort of like obvious things you need, tick boxes when you're right back, full back in general, especially in the top two tiers of English football. I think Ben Johnson is a very intelligent football player. I mentioned this a lot of times when I'm trying to break down certain individuals, but will he be on a decent wage if he comes to Leeds? Probably. He'll have to reduce it, obviously, but what would he prefer? And we've had many of these conversations before when it's come to Ryan Kent. What would you prefer, Leeds or Rangers? Todd Cantwell, what would you prefer, Leeds, Rangers? It feels like Rangers win a lot of these battles because, a lot of the time they can offer Europe, they can offer, 55,000 at Ibrox. They can offer those sorts of things at a top two race, albeit it is in the SPL, so it is the SPL. But the Championship's a bit of a difficult competition market for that, I feel. If you're in the Premier League, it's a completely different conversation, of course. But when you're in the Championship, I feel if Rangers or Celtic are going for a player, I think a lot of the time, what's the ace card? Wages. And I don't think maybe Leeds are going to be able to offer as much as Rangers. However, with the new Red Bull deal and Leeds freeing up fees elsewhere, this might be a little bit more achievable. But I think Leeds, with a lot of business this window, are going to try to keep it in-house. So they'll have a short list of 3 and they'll pluck one out and we'll be like, oh my God, what on earth's happened there? Why has that happened? Well, who's that? So listen, Ethan Ampadu-esque, So I'm not 100% sure it's going to be as obvious as a Ben Johnson. I picked him out in the players that I would be looking at 100%. in this window, because I believe Ben Johnson suits Leeds United. He's been at a big club in West Ham. He's been able to deal with that badge. I think he'd be able to transition with Leeds and make that sort of nice sort of move to Yorkshire and be able to play under the badge, which we've criticised maybe a few Leeds players not been able to do at points this season. He is a little bit of experience with the children that we have within the ranks. Obviously, we know he's not too young. But yeah, I don't see it as a bad signing. And obviously, West Ham wanted to keep hold of him at one point. They've not been able to agree terms. So you wonder if Leeds are then going to make that move, which I think would be a good, solid right-back signing at this level. Possible Prem footy with Leeds. Don't get that with Rangers. Yeah, and this is another thing, everybody. You do wonder if Leeds are going to be able to. I think this Red Bull thing is just going to be massive when it comes to players. It's just going to be massive. A lot of people, a lot of players will just see it and go, "Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Leeds mean business." And you can sell the Premier League project a little bit better there for me. Premier League project with Leeds United. Well, what's the evidence? We finished third last season. We've got a championship winning manager. We've got the San Francisco 49ers, who were in the ownership structure, who have just been ridiculously successful. And we've now just got the biggest EFL commercial sponsorship deal of all time. Look, come on. We're on that HMS, aren't we? Rune says Van Ewick better than Johnson. If we're talking about who I'd want of a Van Ewick and Ben Johnson, it would be Van Ewick. I love Van Ewick. I think he's absolutely quality. You've also got a ready-made championship player there who's been playing all season with Coventry, performing nearly all of the season with Coventry, and would slot into a championship team and would just be able to play that at this level, that right back position, and probably a little bit more elevated because the players around him who are better than those Coventry players. Although they have a hell of a lot of good talent at Coventry that I think Leeds United should definitely exploit and look at, in my personal opinion. Morning, Connor. It can only be a good thing. Fickle fans are annoying, definitely. Yeah, I agree. The thing is with this Red Bull thing is I respect a lot of people's opinions, but I feel like it's easy. It's really, really easy to just jump on and just say, well, we're going to get taken over and we're going to go into oblivion and that's it. You know, got to be worried. We have to be. If we're not worried, then you've not done enough reading behind the topic, blah, blah, blah. I just don't see it like that. And I'm not a fan by how it's been received and how it's been portrayed. I'm not, but it is what it is. I understand people being cynical about it. I'd just like there to be a balance. I feel like on this channel, I'm trying to give a little bit of a balance with it. I understand the skeptics, but at the same time, you've got to see the positives here. Surely, we all want investment. We all want money. We all want to get back to the Premier League. We now have this in a ridiculously strong financial arm, and people are still annoyed. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. But I understand it. I'm giving my passionate opinion, but I do understand it. Hear the message. I do understand it. I don't agree with you, but I do understand it. Don't worry. I'm not just saying, you're all wrong with this. Of course not. Okay. So what else have we got to discuss today? So Bournemouth. And I expected this at some stage. Now, there's a lot of discussion right now about Michael Elise. There's a lot of discussion about Crystal Palace and their involvement with championship players. We've seen Wharton, we've seen Eze, we've seen Elise, all come from Will Hughes, all come from the championship into the Premier League. Crystal Palace are absolutely superb at being able to recruit championship talent. They see pedigree there, and it just shows how much talent there is in the championship that can transition to the Premier League. They're exceptional at doing this, very, very good at doing this, and it always feels like it's 90% of the time, unless it's just sort of a couple of duds, but 90% of the time it's a massive success. So they're looking right now at Crysencio Summerville. Now, we spoke about this yesterday. The big one for me at this moment in time, and the rumours circulating, because it depends where he wants to go with this Bournemouth side. And it is Iriola and Bournemouth. If they want to be, if they're looking at Aston Villa, which I do, and stay with me here, everybody. So Crystal Palace are one problem, but we've all been looking at Chelsea and Liverpool. But I do think there are problems down here as well when it comes to, clubs coming in. Bournemouth are an extremely rich club now, hugely rich club now. Iriola's vision has already snapped up Tyler Adams, has snapped up Sinistera. You do wonder, do they need another winger? Justin Kluivert's obviously there. Do they need another winger to come in and supplement that? I think when you look at the depth that Aston Villa have, I think Bournemouth are going to be looking at that trajectory and going to be thinking, we can get up there. you know, you've seen their meteoric rise this season, the style of football they're playing. You do see some comparisons between Iriola and Unai Emery in that respect in terms of just what they've done this season. I think Bournemouth are going to be probably looking at Europe next year. You guys might absolutely laugh at that, but I think what they've got going on right now, the squad depth they have, the caliber of player they have, I think Bournemouth's squad is very, very good. They're going to be keeping Dom Solanke for another year as well. If they're able to invest in a Crysencio Summerville, the rumours are doing the rounds this morning for 20, 25, 30 million quid. For me right now, which is crazy to say, but that is a pebble in the water right now for Bournemouth. It really is. With their investment and, you know, the players that they have on the books, I just think Summerville would fit into their setup very, very nicely as well. Now, would that be a bit of a step down from Summerville? Well, once again, it's set in the stall. It's talking about the project, isn't it? What level will Bournemouth get to? Bournemouth are saying to Crysencio Summerville, we're going to be in the top 6 in the next 3 years. It's and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we might finish in the top 6, or we might finish in the top 8 in the next 3 or 4 years with Iriola in charge and in building his vision. Stabbed to the heart, by the way, because it could have been Leeds United with Iriola, but it's not a bad selling point. It's not a bad selling point whatsoever for Summerville. But the question is right now, can Summerville fit into a Champions League squad right now? I think he can. I think he can. Now, the beauty of this is we've been told that Liverpool have ruled themselves out. We always know with Liverpool that they don't absolutely blast transfer fees left, right, and Charlie. It doesn't happen. I want us to do business with Chelsea because I've said that it really opens up the loan links there as well, which I think we've benefited from previously. We've not maybe utilised that properly with Lewis Bate, but we've definitely worked, not loan-wise, but we've worked that in the right way when it's come to establishing a relationship with Chelsea and buying Ethan Ampadu for an absolutely ridiculous fee of 7 million quid. So, yeah, I think that's a really good market to go on. Chelsea are going to pay the money. We all know that. Chelsea will definitely pay the money. We'll be able to put that against our books and actually go forward and plan around the side without Crysencio Summerville, which I think is a really good way of going about it quickly, getting that deal done quickly. We know he's going to go, then going for maybe a Johnny Rowe. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Getting him for a very decent free fee from Norwich. A year left on his deal. I think that'd be perfect. And then you can build around the squad. Van Ewick, Ekwa, Hackney. I have got so many names that I'm talking about transfer-wise for good value, for mass value at Leeds United. Good value that you can maybe sell on for decent value going forward. And we're not buying stupid players for stupid money and not being able to get rid of them and sort of utilising amortization. I think Leeds United there's so much value at this level, that you can do. So I'm really excited to see what we do. I am really going to excited to see what we do, but it's definitely interesting to keep an eye on those two Prem clubs, Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, both on the up. Palace with Glasner, Bournemouth with Iriola. Target's going to be very, very much greater next season. A Crysencio Summerville is only going to enhance that. Let me just get a cup of coffee, everyone. Has somebody read my mind? Resident Alien. Now, 3 names there, 4 names. I didn't see Van Ewick. Spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. Nathan Wood, top centre-back, top potential, top ceiling. I think that's what Leeds should be investing in. Ceiling as well. You know, with these good players, you still need to be, investing in potential and ceiling. Jacob Greaves' argument, there's an argument at Hull this season. He's been the best centre-back in the Championship. There's an argument. I think he's been excellent. He can do anything as a centre-back. Anything. Omer Bama Dele. Who mentioned him 2 years ago when he was at Norwich? Who mentioned him a year ago when he'd gone to Nottingham Forest and we could get him on loan because it's unlikely that he's going to be playing? Who mentioned him at the start of the season to get on loan? Omer Bama Dele. Absolute physical specimen. Someone who's played in the Championship before. He was young, obviously, previously. He's not getting a lot of games. He was young previously. What sort of comments that? He was young previously when he was in the Championship. He's been in the Premier League, played a few minutes, but that's got to be a loan option. That has got to be a loan option. You know, when Murillo came in, it felt like his game time was going to be reduced. And this is why we all talk about Joe Rodon. Look. I love Joe Rodon, right? And there is an argument that it's Joe Rodon plus Strauch plus 2 others, maybe. I don't think that's going to happen, but it depends on what happens with Cooper and Cresswell. If Leeds are to lose Cooper and Cresswell, 2 others need to come in, and we need to be logistically looking at that. I don't want a scenario where Ampadu's at the back. It's stupid. Ampadu needs to be back in midfield alongside Archie Gray, in my opinion, in that double pivot. I want a proper setup at the back. If you're not going to use Cresswell, Daniel, bomb him out. Bomb him out. Sell him. Yeah? Don't keep him like you did in January after Ipswich, Sunderland, and Coventry were in for him and just not play him when he could have been a big advantage for us. Sell him. You've got to do that. Cooper, are they going to offer him a new deal? I think it's quite unlikely. Retained list. It looked like that was his last game and he was doing almost a goodbye at Wembley. I think they need to bring Rodon. There's an argument. There's 3 centre-backs that need to come in. There is a genuine argument there because I don't want to see Ampadu at the back. But yeah, Jacob Greaves, Omobamidele, Nathan Willoughby for a good price from Swansea. Ball-playing centre-back, tall, athletic, rangy. Jacob Greaves has got everything. He's going to be a Premier League player one day. Could we get him on a good deal? And Omobamidele, I reckon we'd all fall in love with him. But yeah, I think it'd be a top signing, absolute top signing. And they've all got brilliant attitudes, all of them as well, from what you see anyway. Guys, I mean, I need to check this right now. If this is right, let me check. I've got to check. Stay with me. I'm going to tell you live how many likes we've got right now. And guys, I'm going to be upset with you. I have to say, let's have a look. Guys, we've got 1,400 people watching. 1,400. There's 200 likes. Guys, you've got to do me a solid here. It's free. That like button, it's not even a beg. The like button just helps us get one Leeds higher. That's what it does. It ranks us higher in the algorithm. All this sort of stuff means that we rank higher than LUTV. That's what we want. That's what we're trying to aim for. We've got big things coming in the background. Please, I can see the likes now. You've got to rack those up for me. You've got to do it. Because all these things are pointless and it means I can't get a new iPad. I'm joking. But keep getting your comments in. Keep Verba best defender in the Championship. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Verba. Going to be really interesting because he'd mentioned something about Leeds a little bit earlier on, hadn't he? He'd mentioned that it was a bit of an issue when it came to last season. And basically, I think he was a bit confused on his transfer as well. Obviously, went back out on loan again. Is that going to happen? Again, is he going to be going out on loan? None of us know. It'd be ideal if it was a transfer. Loan, I don't think he's got another one in his contract. I think that is literally just between Harrison and Rutter. But yeah, listen, Verba in the Championship, we could do a lot worse. He's had a really good season for Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga. It's a higher level. So could we do a lot better? Of course we could. Of course we could. But at the same time, it's a very good centre-back to have in there. In my opinion. Yes, Timbo, good man. Bang that like button. 295. I really appreciate it, everyone. When we got 1,400 of you in the building, you got to subscribe as well. There's 38% of you not subscribed. What are you doing? Turn those notification bells on. We're going to be live. We're going to be doing videos every single day. Make sure you're liking the content as well. Morning, Connor. Hi, Jay Racer. And yeah, what I wanted to do as well, we're probably Ashley Phillips on loan. Brandon, great shout. Another thing I wanted to discuss is Rutter and Archie Gray. It's Rutter and Archie Gray. But what we're going to do is we're going to park that and we're going to do that in a video later on. And listen, we're going to have to talk about them and some transfer bits. And I'm going to get into that in a future video, everybody, because we have hit the half-an-hour mark, and that's what we're going to try, restrict these two. But I'm going to be speaking about Rutter. I'm going to be speaking about Archie Gray in the next video that we're going to do this evening. I need you guys to tune in. I hope you've enjoyed this. I really do. It's been the start of the rumour mill. I'm as you can tell, a bit hyped. You know, I'm sometimes come on this one a bit. I'm hyped. I'm buzzing. Thank you so much for your support. Loads of you in the building. Didn't expect this today. And I hope you enjoy the longevity of these streams. As I say, if you want this more often, the live streams, I can do them. But I need you guys to let me know in the comment section below. Like button, all this sort of stuff. Giveaway on the Patreon. You're mental if you don't do it. Free giveaway. And there is a small pool of people. The question is still open on the Patreon now for you guys to all get involved. We've got big things coming on the channel, everybody. I'm really psyched for this. We've got lives coming all week as well. Make sure you tuned in. You dialed into One Leeds. I will see you this evening for the video as well, which was what I've just been discussing about Jorginho Rutter and Archie Gray. We're back tomorrow with the debrief. We're back this week with KG. We're back this week with Brownie. We're back this week with Joe Wayman. We're back this week with much more. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.